Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I am also a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I wanted to go over a topic that I think can be a little complicated, okay? And we've touched on this a little bit in plenty of other videos, but I think it needs more clarity, okay? There's a disagreement, there's a difference, there's some different perceptions about what love is, right? Some people think love is a feeling. Some people think it's an action. From this perspective today, we are talking about the action and the choice of love, okay? And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because a person can love you, but you might not feel loved. And that can be very difficult. And also, when someone has avoidant attachment style, fearful or dismissive, it can be pretty complicated because even if they do love you by feeling, if they don't choose you, it's not making you feel satisfied regardless. So today we're going to talk about the reason that avoidants choose you, and that is usually how they fall in love, which I know it's a little complicated. Okay, so avoidants, when they love you and they choose to love you and they want to love you, that's when you guys will start feeling like they love you. That's when they'll show a form of consistency. Even if it's gradual, you'll see that. And that is usually when the love is forming or it's already there. And that's the best scenario for somebody with avoidant attachment in a relationship, okay? So what does that look like? The communication will stay steady or become more steady, okay? For example, let's say a fearful avoidant man. He doesn't text or call for like a week. Then he texts and calls with high intensity, and then he disappears again. And he's not checking in regularly, but every now and then that sporadic connection is very intense. It's very loving. Maybe sometimes he shows a lot of jealousy, and or maybe he's just very possessive, whatever it is. Or he might connect with you. Maybe you guys get together in the bedroom. You guys are very romantic, and then he just disappears, okay? So he's inconsistent. Does he have feelings for you? He probably does. But is he able to accept those feelings and commit to you and face his own fears? I don't know yet. However, if he checks in regularly, he's asking what's going on in your life. He listens to you. He talks about his life. He is open to communicating and choosing you to love, okay? The next one is that he is dependable, he or she, but we were just talking about this hypothetical male fearful avoidant. If your partner is dependable in tough times, during these tough times, okay? So let's keep using this example, but this can work for dismissive avoidant as well, female or male. We're just using him as an example, okay? It's a made up guy, okay? He is present in the difficult times when you need him, but also when he needs you. This one is where a lot of avoidants mess up, and it's not necessarily their fault, but this is how they lose the person they love a lot, okay? Sometimes when they're going through something tough, they also pull away from you. When a person, man or woman, if they choose to love you, if they're avoidant, they try their best to be there, even if it's not fully there. If you ask them, if you confront them, what's going on in your life, is there something bothering you? They might be apprehensive, but they'll be honest, okay? They're not just there where it's fun or easy. They are there when you're stressed, you're upset, or when you need support, or them, right? And the communication might be not as fluid as when things are, less stressful, but they're still trying to be there. That's the difference to which a person is choosing you, okay? The next one is consistent respect. I do read your comments. Some of you guys, I don't even know if your partners it's not very common, but some of you guys, I actually question, are you with an actual avoidant? Because respect is it's a trait that a lot of avoidants, if they love you and they choose you, they don't negotiate this one. Most of them, they respect you private or public. They don't talk down to you. They don't dismiss your feelings, and they don't play games intentionally. And a lot of them don't cheat on you. Or keep you as a side person or whatever it is, right? And I understand that every relationship is different, but this is not something that's sustainable. If someone is disrespecting you, it's not healthy for your mental health either. So regardless of their attachment style, disrespect is dangerous in relationships, right? But if an avoidant chooses to love you, they're going to have consistent respect. They treat you well, not just in private, but they show you that same respect in public around other situations, whatever it may be. And they tend to show that no matter who you are, whether they're mad at you, whether they're upset, whatever it may be, they still respect you because you're somebody that they want to keep in their life, and they're not necessarily trying to push you away. It might not always be easy. If they're angry, they might crash out and say something they regret, but they're not trying to put you in a situation where you could easily walk away because they said something very hurtful. If they usually do say something hurtful, they're going to try to apologize, okay? Now, the next one is that I don't even know how to describe it. Their answers don't change, but I'm saying it in a way where they're not, it's like they're being honest with you. So their answers are not inconsistent is the best way to put it, because their responses will change as they continue to love you more in a positive direction. So let me give you an example. Let's just say you asked, who's that girl you were talking to, okay? Let's say we have that same male fearful avoidant. He works at, let's say he's a bartender, okay? And a lot of different colleagues, that type of environment can be uncomfortable for anybody who's not the bartender, right? Maybe his girlfriend's pretty uncomfortable with that situation. And this particular girl is kind of talking to him. She's talkative. Maybe she's a little touchy. And his girlfriend is uncomfortable. Maybe his girlfriend is anxious, preoccupied. And she's very uncomfortable with this girl. And she asks, like, who is this girl? And at first he says, oh, she's just a friend. She's just a colleague. I barely know her. Yeah, we hung out a couple times. Oh, yeah, one time we hooked up. So the answer is changing continuously. That's what I meant by the answer changes, okay? However, when an avoidant loves you and they choose you, the answer will sound more like she's just a colleague, or maybe they did have something. He might say something like, we were involved at one point, but I didn't want to be with her. I have no problem with not talking to her. I really don't like her that much. As a person, I think that I just tolerate her because she's my coworker. If you want me to not talk to her, I have no problem with that, right? They're okay with doing these things because it's not worth it. Or maybe they never had any physical connection. They might say, yeah, this is just a colleague of mine. What's the reason that you're bothered? And you might say, she's touching you a lot. She's talking to you a lot. I'm uncomfortable. And he might say, okay, if you really feel uncomfortable, I didn't even notice that. I have nothing for her, but what do you want me to do about it? Do you want me to talk to her less? Or do you think that I'm not setting enough boundaries? The communication's going to make more sense. It's not going to feel like it's changing all the time, right? So the best way to put it is their answers are backed up with integrity. And the next one, and it's the last one, but I think it's very important. They expect growth from you as well. When an avoidant falls in love with you and they choose you, they expect you to change because they want further commitment with you, okay? If they are not asking you to change, and I've told you guys this before, that's not a good sign for the relationship, because avoidants, when they want you to change something, anybody actually, but especially for avoidants, it's because they have decided, okay, you are a person that I want long term, and I'm thinking this, whatever this issue is a barrier. So for example, let's just say this is pretty common in therapy, I see it, you have friends that don't treat you very nicely, and they don't like your friends. They might say, I want you to make new friends, or I want you to stand up to your friends. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I don't like hearing them make fun of you, whatever it is. And they're expecting you to stand up for yourself and grow, and they're expecting you to not let your self-esteem be lowered by these friends. They're expecting change from you, okay? That's an example, and it's really common, okay? And when an avoidant loves you, they want you to be happy and healthy so that you guys can stay together as long as possible, okay? So let's summarize, and then we'll wrap it up, okay? The communication stays steady or becomes more steady. They're dependable in tough times, both your tough time or their tough time. They have consistent respect. They have integrity behind their answers, or they try to answer things clearly, and they expect growth from you, okay? I hope this video was helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.